Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of First and 10. I am joined as always by my little helper to my Santa, since I guess it had to go holiday theme here, and Matt Etchier. This actually, for those of you who don't know, will be the last show we will do until the playoffs, so we'll give you our Christmas gift of not having to listen to us jobbers talk about football. You can enjoy the last 2 weeks, and I think of all the weeks we're going to give you to watch, nothing better than the last 2 weeks, especially if you're an NFC East team fan, because that division is going to get crazy.
That shit already is crazy.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And it's going to get even crazier. This week I found was a little crazy. You had some teams that you'd think every week that had gone previously, they're going to dominate teams, and this week not so much. You had the Bears look poor against the Vikings.
Very bad,
the Steelers, I don't know what got into them against the Chargers. As well, the Falcons getting steamrolled by the Carolina Panthers. I understand it's a divisional game, but you got to show up, especially if you're a contender in the National Football League, and they did not play like that. But if all those three teams, the team I'd be a little bit more worried about is the Steelers, because I mean you're hanging on by a thread to these playoffs.
You got Bengals right there,
and they unfortunately blew it. Let's be real, they were up
not. The division just lost.
They blew it against the Dallas Cowboys, and I guess we'll kind of start there. I mean, the Cowboys got a big win on the last second field goal from Dan Bailey after, of course, they had a rough weekend, and they played off the emotion that much like the Chiefs did the previous week, where they had one of their players get killed in a drinking driving accident, and the person that obviously unfortunately ended the one player's life was as well a player in the team, and now he's being charged with manslaughter. So I mean, we don't need to get too much into this. I mean, I feel bad for the family that lost the player.
Everyone involved, exactly.
But if you're drinking and driving in 2012, you're the dumbest fuck ever. I'm sorry for the language here, but you're the dumbest person ever.
It's true. Like, drinking and driving, especially with all the statistics, everything, and all the ways to not drink and drive. Like, I mean, yeah, we don't want to get into,
especially in the NFL, where they provide plenty of car services, and I understand maybe free. Not wanting to take them because you want to be your own person, don't want to feel, I guess, pampered. But then don't drink. Like, why are you drinking and driving?
No, it's a big issue, and like, come on, exactly like you said, it's 2012. It's the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Don't do it. Anyone out there, no matter what the circumstances are, there's always something else.
Especially during this time, so everyone at home that's watching it.
During the holidays.
Just make sure you got someone to make sure to take you home after you have a little too much eggnog during the holidays.
If you're drinking adult beverages, that means you're an adult, so act like one.
Exactly. That's a good motto to have, folks. But yeah, so I guess moving on from into the realm back of football here, we made mention the Cowboys had the win over the Bengals. Well, it's going to be a quick transition for the Bengals as they got a Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles, who, hey, won a game.
Oh my God.
And that's kind of scary for some of these teams, especially like the Giants, who play the Eagles on the last week of the season. If the Eagles continue to roll, that's scary, because the Eagles would love to play spoiler to the New York Giants, and that's just bad news for you. But this week they got to worry about the Bengals, who up until last week were playing the best football in the NFL. And I'd say they were. I mean, how couldn't you not? They were steamrolling teams, and they looked very, very scary with the youth movement.
It's arguable, for sure.
With the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, and A.J. Green. I mean, last week what really came to their downfall was drops.
Yeah.
Well, not really that. It was more just drops, because as well defensively, they could have picked Tony Romo off, like your Giants did at Cowboy Stadium. Basically, that could have happened there, but they couldn't hang on to the football. So they got to bounce back from that. I think their defense, though, is proved in that game. They're still a little bit better than what a lot of people had thought they were. But with the Eagles at home, I think, naming Foles the starter gives him the confidence, and he played like it. A last-second drive against the Buccaneers, a team that was hoping for the playoffs, but now I'd say their hopes are dashed after this Eagles. So I guess tossing this over to you, who are you liking in this game?
Well, this is what happens near the end of the season. The teams that are out of it, they got nothing to lose, right? So they start playing with nothing to lose. And so, I mean, when you're a player, when you're an athlete like that, and kind of the pressure comes off, it's a change and it's different. And now I know a lot of players do react to pressure and do like that, but at the same time, when you're just out there playing like it's schoolyard ball, you know, like that's a lot of fun, and it can be a lot of fun. So yeah, teams like the Eagles are very dangerous teams this time of year when they don't have anything to lose. The Eagles, this Bryce Brown guy, their running back, pretty darn good. I say look out.
A lot.
Well, I mean, hopefully, you know, but he's an Eagle, right? So of course. But so I say watch out for him.
Just the jabs right there.
Watch out for him this game. But no, I think Dalton and AJ Green get back on their game. And I think they're going to have something to prove. As you said, drops. AJ Green, I think, had 3 or 4 in that game. And like
one of them was in the touchdown.
You've never seen that, even with AJ Green when he was in college. So I think him and the entire Bengals team going to be fired up this week in practice. Even though it's a short week, Thursday nighter, I got to go with Cincinnati.
As well, we'll go with Cincinnati. I think the passing attack will be too much for the Eagles defense that has been strugglesome this year. As well, I think the Bengals defense, which proved to be a really good defense, especially with their safeties getting blitzes and their corners playing very well. I think they played the Cowboys pretty closely. Just like it was just all that drops that we had said earlier. So I don't know how well that young Eagle offense can handle it, especially when you have the likes of that halfback. They're fumbling, and Foles was his second week as a full-time starter. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati Bengals as well. But moving to our game to watch, and it's really getting to the point in the NFL where a lot of these games, divisional games, really are games to watch, because if you're a team that hasn't wrapped up the division yet, it's going to be really interesting, and no other division, I think, is getting more interesting than the AFC South. And, the Houston Texans, a team that up until Monday Night Football were only lost a game to the Packers, well, they got spanked on Monday. I mean, actually spanked. It's bad when you're getting your starters for the Patriots and they're pulling them because they're like, hey, we've had enough. I mean, you basically just tapped out the other team. They've tapped out. That's what happened to the Texans. They had to put TJ Yates in there too. Maybe he'll win when they make the playoffs. So, but they're playing a tough team in the Indianapolis Colts, who know also a little bit something about getting thrashed by the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have bounced back. Sure, all their victories are coming from behind victories, but a win's a win. In the NFL, a win is a win, and that's something you can't take away. So it's the Colts and the Texans, Reliance Stadium. Interesting matchup, as well an interesting matchup because they play each other in 2 weeks after this. Yep. So I'll let you start here. Who wins this game between the Colts and the Texans? Well, is it your boy Luck?
Texans, they haven't clinched the division yet, which is huge. I mean, everyone thought that was definitely going to happen earlier than this point. Colts, they haven't lost. They've decided, you know what, no way. They've won 7 of their last 8 games, and like you said, their last loss was against the Pats. Texans pass defense, 19th in the league. So that's something Andrew Luck can definitely work with, I think. Luck has 6 game-winning drives, as you said, tied with Matt Ryan for the most. And now, think about this. The most in a season was Eli Manning with 8. And guess when that was? Last year when they won the Super Bowl. So that's I think that's pretty interesting there. I think this Indianapolis team, they're rolling right now, and I do think they come out, or they go into Texas, or into Houston, sorry.
Texas, the state, yes.
So the state,
they'll be
in
there.
Houston, and they beat the Texans.
You just love this Luck guy. You just love them. I honestly think Texans will bounce back at home. The thing is, the Colts, they play fantastic in the fourth quarter, which it really does matter, but they were really, really down last week by the Titans. I mean, it was at one point, it was 20-3. And that's not good, especially when you're playing the team like the Texans that, especially now after having a shellacking at their hands from the Patriots, they will clearly bounce back, in my opinion, and play the great football that we're used to, especially at home, where I think it's going to be a huge advantage for them. I think Foster's going to have a big game. Andre Johnson's going to have a big game. I know you missed fantasy because he didn't catch a bajillion touchdowns.
Out of the playoffs.
I know, it's tragic. But I think they'll get the Duke here. But anything, it really will come down to what the Colts can offer, I guess, in the fourth quarter against a Houston defense that, while still one of the better defenses in the league, is really missing Brian Cushing, and you can totally tell how much they're missing him. But I'll still go with Houston. I'll still go with the Texans. I like them, but it's going to be really interesting because now it depends what happens because, like we said, they play each other in another 2 weeks, and that's the last week of the season, and it could be for the division. So that's going to be interesting. But another game that's going to be really important in terms of division is in the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers and the Bears. The Green Bay Packers have been playing, dare I say, fantastic football. I don't know if you want to go fantastic, but really good football as of late. Well, the Chicago Bears, not. They have not been playing good football. This was a team a couple weeks ago, 7-1. 7-1 football team, 8-5 now. Look at the way the tides have turned. My fear for the Bears, who I did pick going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, is did they play their best football too soon? Would you say they have?
I mean, that's a lot of people's problem, right? Peaking too early.
Exactly. A lot of men's problem too. but I don't want to get into that.
You know what it is? As much as everyone says Cutler is the problem, I mean, he got hurt and that's been what's going on. Their run game hasn't looked very good either. Matt Forte's gotta step it up here, and I think if they can get that run game going, then you got the pass game too. They work off each other. The Bears' 6th place pass defense, I think it's gonna stop Green Bay. But their pass defense. The thing that's scary about Green Bay is their rushing offense has been starting to step it up lately. And that's what they did a few years ago when they went on their Super Bowl run. They started rushing the ball.
And who was the one that had rushed the ball? Starks. And who's back and running the football? Starks.
There you go. And so in week 2 when they beat Chicago, they had more than 100 yards rushing. I think it's gonna be the same thing, and Packers are gonna go into Chicago and beat the Bears.
I as well could see the Packers doing it. It seems that while the Bears had, a lot of fun against a lot of teams, kind of beating them handedly, and their defense played fantastic, who knows the condition of Brian Urlacher in that game? Like, he didn't play last week in Minnesota, and I mean, while the defense is still a really good defense, it's missing the glue. It's missing the heart and soul when they don't have Brian Urlacher. And I don't know if he's going to play in this game or not. So no Urlacher is problems for that Bears defense. As well, like you said, the run game hasn't been good. No Forte. The best running back has been backup Michael Bush. And now Michael Bush is a great running back, but when you're paying all this money for Matt Forte, you need him to deliver at times like this now. And especially considering you guys were at least a lock to win the division or at least make the playoffs. That may be slipping away. I mean, as the song says by the Steve Miller Band, time keeps on slipping. And the Green Bay Packers may go into the future with a playoff victory, with a playoff berth, I should say, and I do see them winning because, like you said, they got Starks in there. I think Aaron Rodgers has his swagger. His swagger's back, and that's a bad thing. And he's playing good football without strong receivers like Jennings or Jordy Nelson. And they didn't even have Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson on defense last week against a team that always plays them tough in the Lions. So Packers it is. And then, while we decided, since moving along here, since this is going to be our last show for a little bit, we're on, dare I say, hiatus. If this was an actual television show, I'm sure plenty of Christmas specials would run in our spot, and I'd be okay with that. But since we're going to be on a bit of hiatus, we decided to review our original show in terms of the Super Bowl picks we made. I mean, obviously, it's still hypothetical from what we're going to be saying here, but some of the picks we made, a little bit similar, a little bit, well, let's see how this works out, because Matt's Super Bowl pick, he took the same Green Bay Packers who we just talked about, and he had them playing the Baltimore Ravens, a team in their own right now that's struggling, really struggling. I took the Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens. So which NFC, we don't really need to see which NFC team going to be, because we kind of broke down that game, which I think could lead to one of those two being the Super Bowl, but the Ravens, a team that we both thought will be representing the AFC kind of easily, they've been slipping. They fired their offensive coordinator this week, Cam Cameron, he's gone. The ex-Colts head coach is now the offensive coordinator and calling plays. And he hasn't called plays since high school.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
That's not a good idea. No. It's gonna, I think, need to be a lot on Ray Rice to get the job done. That defense needs to step up too. I mean, no Ray Lewis. Suggs came back, but his biceps torn. Really expecting a lot of Ed Reed to lead that defense, and he plays a position where he has to make plays out in the secondary. So he can't. I mean, he can hype you up and stuff, but it's tougher for him to lead by example. So I don't know. Do you see the Ravens still representing the AFC, or since you don't now, what team do you see replacing the Baltimore Ravens?
This is tough. I went through this. I mean, I was thinking Denver. I don't know how much they've proven necessarily against other elite teams. I mean, New England looked good on Monday night, and they have looked good. I don't know though. I feel like just in the playoffs, I wasn't feeling it, and I gotta go with the team of destiny right now, and my boy Andrew Luck and the Colts.
Oh my God! No.
In the Super Bowl.
Son, no. Terrible pick.
Completely, I agree. Completely out of. But I went through everything else, and that's all I could say. That's a team that can win in the playoffs. They can win close games. They've been battle tested, have fought through adversity. And I think you just got to look back to when they beat Green Bay, and I think that was huge. And I just think the entire journey has just created a lot of character in that change room, and I think that's what a Super Bowl winning team is. So I gotta say, the Indianapolis Colts are going to the Super Bowl this year. It's my late season pick.
No. That's a great story, but I don't know if it's a this year thing.
You wait.
You know, I don't think it's gonna happen, more so because it's, like I said earlier, a lot of their wins come from behind victories, and they're gonna play a team eventually like how they played the Patriots, and they're gonna get stomped.
And they would have learned from that loss.
And they'll get stomped. There'll be like a grape at the bottom of my shoe, squish. Honestly, if I have to make a replacement, I think the Ravens can tighten things up, but it's gonna be a lot of work to be done. Especially, I don't agree with really firing your offensive coordinator, especially on a playoff push when you haven't clinched a division yet. I ought to go with the team that I normally would hate. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think they're playing some of the best football out there. They know what it takes to win. They know how to make things happen. They've taken the tough test this year. The real tough test was, I guess, on Monday against Houston, and they obliterated them. And
they have injuries, too, against Houston.
Exactly. And they bring back Dante Stallworth after they cut him after the preseason. He catches a bomb. You know, like, it's clockwork. They know what to do with guys. Even if they release them, you know, they'll know how to welcome them back, and they know how to adjust. They have a bit of a run game this year, too. Their defense is still pretty decent. It's definitely tightened up from last year. The thing is, imagine when they're going to get Gronk back. I mean, Hernandez played big on Monday against the Texans. Imagine when they get Gronk back. An even scarier team. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. New England will probably go to the Super Bowl against, I don't know, I honestly could see against Green Bay, and I think that would be one of the best Super Bowls ever, more so for the ratings-wise. Probably be a game that would never be broken because the Patriots are really the team of our generation against one of the greatest franchises in football. That's got its mojo back in terms of being an elite team, so I could potentially see Packers.
I got the Packers too.
Patriots.
Yeah.
So I think the Bears, they may have blown it. And that pains me. But the Sunday Nighter, speaking of the Patriots, it's another tough test for the Patriots, but an even tougher test for the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick gets to play a real team, some would say, and take on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I mean, it's, to me, no doubt in my mind, I think the 49ers will clinch the NFC West. Yeah. It's just a matter of time, I think. This may be a big roadblock in the way of doing that, but I think they'll do it. I think Seattle, if anything, is the wild card team. But, I mean, Colin Kaepernick, I mean, last week he looked pretty damn good, but then again, who they play? Miami. I mean, that's not too impressive. I mean, if the Bills can beat you, you're bad. So that's basically how my summing up of Miami. It's going to be, to me, the key to this game is a lot of San Francisco defense. They need to get a lot of pass rush on Tom Brady. When you disturb Tom Brady, he's not the same Tom Brady, so they're going to need a lot of sack rush. They have one of the best pass rushers in the league, Smith. He's the sack leader this year, I believe. He's going to need to play well. The secondary, which I know can play well, is going to need to play well. Just make some stoppages. You know, you're going to need Patrick Willis in there. As well, Colin Kaepernick's going to have to be that explosive guy that we expect him to be, run the football when needed to be, and hit his targets, like, Vernon Davis, and he's been coming pretty close with Randy Moss, too. And Randy Moss could have had a big touchdown last week against Miami, but he dropped it. So I guess I'll pass this one over to you now. Hey, Randy Moss is a legend. Who do you like in this one? You like San Francisco or you like the Pats?
This is one of the most interesting matchups of the weekend. San Francisco 49ers give up an average of 14.2 points a game. The Pats get 36.3 a game. So there's a big difference there. Offensive powerhouse going up against a tough 49ers D. It'll be a fun game to watch, and it just depends on what's going to give. My thing is, I think 49ers need to run the ball. However, that Monday Nighter makes me skeptical of whether they'll be able to, considering the Pats just annihilated the Houston run offense. And another stat that I didn't know that's incredible, the Patriots in the last 2 seasons haven't lost in the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. They haven't. They're undefeated.
Especially at home.
And
that's where this game will be.
That is amazing, exactly. And so I think it's going to be such a tough matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be really close. But because it's the end of the year, and because it's in New England, got to go with the Pats.
I'm going with the Pats as well, basically on that logic of they don't lose at home. They don't lose in December, really. December,
exactly.
There's 2 things you can guarantee. Santa will come down the chimney, and the Patriots will not lose football games. That's basically what you can guarantee. The other factor I'll take into consideration is we don't know how the 49ers can handle this cold weather, because it's going to be cool, much more cooler than what we were expecting, what the 49ers are used to practicing in, a different kind of cool in San Francisco and in California than what they're expecting up at Gillette Stadium. So I think it's going to be a real tough test for Colin Kaepernick. I don't know how he can handle the pass rush of that defense. That defense played fantastic last Monday against the Texans. Mm-hmm. So imagine what they're going to do to this quarterback. I love Colin Kaepernick, and I think he's the right guy for the 49ers, but I think this is too tough, too soon test for him. I like the Patriots, and I think if anything, it'll be a good learning experience for the 49ers.
But this game, just on the last point, it's like a playoff game. Like, it's going to have playoff
This could
intensity.
even be a Super Bowl. This could even be a Super Bowl. It could be. It depends how much the 49ers step up in the Patriots' home.
Exactly. We'll
see. That's the big deal. That's a fantastic Sunday Nighter. Now, this Monday Nighter. Now, moving on to the Monday game. It actually says on our run sheet, who cares? Who cares? Because the New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans are playing. Well, let me tell you who cares, Matt. The great people of New York, they care, because there's a slim hope that the New York Jets could fly into the playoffs and get that last wild card spot. Okay, they play these Titans, they play the Chargers, they play another team that's they play my Bills. Very beatable teams. They could run the table into the playoffs. So that's who cares. The people of New York, they care. Now moving over to the great volunteer state of Tennessee, do they care? No, they care about college basketball right now, but they don't care about this game. Now, they will not watch unless they would like to potentially see a loss. However, the Titans, I will say this, when you put the Titans in a primetime situation, they stun the world. I mean, do we recall that Pittsburgh game where the entire world bet on Pittsburgh and the Tennessee Titans won that game? No. So, will Jake Locker shut the door on the Jets' hope? Potentially, but I don't think so. I like the Jets. I think they'll use the run game a lot, like what they did last week against Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So that's what I could see happening. Pretty straightforward here, I think.
I agree with you, definitely. I don't know who's going to be quarterback. I guess Sanchez, probably. But
oh, for sure. Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez, they have picnics together, so why not throw them?
Oh, and also ESPN is apparently, they've announced they're going to have less coverage of Tim Tebow for everyone, if that matters at all.
That's a big news, because the people of the Christian networks, they need to know, because who else are they going to know about football? I mean, there's a lot of other Christians out there, but I mean...
Anyway, so Jets, you say Jets?
Yes, the Jets, and that should really ice it for the Titans, even though there was no hope left for them. But that's it for us breaking down games, but now we got to move to our favorite segment of the show, quick picks. So, moving to a game that we probably could have talked about as a game to watch, the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I gotta go with Denver.
I gotta go with Denver too. They're playing fantastic, and they could be a Super Bowl team in their own right. In the Superdome, the Saints hosting the Buccaneers.
Bucks.
I like the Bucks as well. The Bucks beat this team every time it kind of matters for them in the Superdome, so I like the Buccaneers. The New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons.
I gotta go with the Falcons.
Ah, damn it! I'm gonna go with them too. Matt Ryan does not lose at the Georgia Dome. He's only lost 2 times as a professional, and that's an amazing stat.
Yeah.
So I think the Falcons kind of they may have found their mojo when they were up there against the Saints. They got to bounce back from the Panthers. Your team isn't on a road team, so
I think Saints lost it. Giants didn't win it last week.
Exactly. Yeah. The Panthers and the Chargers.
Oakland. No, sorry, Carolina.
I asked you about the Panthers and the Chargers. You said Oakland? What? What the heck is wrong with you?
Carolina.
I'll go San Diego. I think they were more impressive. They beat a better team, a tougher team for them. So I'll be different here. I'll go Chargers. The Chiefs and Oakland. So I know who you're going with this one. I don't know. You know what? I'll go with Kansas City. I think they can beat the Raiders. Raiders have been absolutely awful in every aspect of the game. Now the Chiefs have, but they at least won a game recently. And lastly, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys, a game that, let me just say right now, I guarantee you we will be watching.
Zach Harvey, this is for you. Dallas Cowboys, buddy.
I may go with the Cowboys, but let's be a little different. I think the Steelers will bounce back. I think it'll be black and yellow. All black and yellow. Pittsburgh Steelers to win the game. And maybe dash playoff hopes for Cowboys. But like we said, that's it for First and 10. All the way up until the playoffs, which, let's be real, that could be so much more exciting. It could be like this, but like a loop-de-loop of awesome. So this show is going to be like 10 times better because we're going to have to break down playoffs because that's the most exciting time of the year in football.
That's what it's all about. That's why we play this season.
That's why we play the games, to quote Herm Edwards. But that's it for this show. We'll see you in the new year. For Matt, I'm out. Peace.